mothersraisingsons.com. Of course, I am Scott Conway, PhD, JD, and the whole resume thing. And I'm talking about my proprietary 4P 360 leadership system. This is one of the most uniquely self-consistent leadership systems you will ever see anywhere because it works in all of these directions. We've already talked about going up, going down, going sideways. We talked about downward diagonal, upward diagonal, and that first 0 point of leadership, that self-leadership that sometimes can be such a huge challenge. But we actually have 2 0 points in the 4P 360 system. So it isn't just even self-consistent, down, up, sideways, and the diagonals and self-leadership. It is also self-consistent in 0 point number 2. 02 is helping others influence you. How you train other people to get you to do things, to get you to change your mind, to get you to take action or to stop taking action. And that is the 7th direction of the 4P 360-degree leadership system. Now, one of the interesting things here is because we have a comprehensive leadership toolbox. Part of what makes this leadership toolbox so enormously comprehensive is all the directions. You take one tool and you use it in all 7 directions. Direction number 1, of course, leading down. Direction number 2, leading across. Direction number 3, leading up. Direction 4, the diagonal down leadership. Direction 5, the upward diagonal leadership. Direction number 6 is self-leadership. And direction number 7 in the 02 is helping others lead you. So when I'm helping other people lead me, what I let work on me is part of other people learning how to lead me. Say, for instance, a quick example. If someone gives me a very logical, well-reasoned presentation, and I listen to them and otherwise just ignore them, then what I'm teaching them is that the logical presentation isn't going to influence me. If, on the other hand, someone yells and they scream and they cuss me out and they go, whoa, 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 okay, you can have whatever you want. What I just did was teach them that this is the way to get your way with me. Now, in parenting, the parenting example that I use often is kids crying for toys in the toy section. In fact, I just saw this the other day. That there were some mothers in line and they had some very, very young children, and of course this happens a lot with very young children, is they see a pretty shiny object. They wanted the pinwheel, they wanted the ball, and they, and they get ignored. They ask for it, please, and they get ignored. But then they start pitching a fit, and the mom goes and gets it and gives it to them to hold. And then when they pitch a fit about the other thing, mom goes and gives it to them and gives it to them to hold. And then they get bought one of them before they leave the store. And then they reach out for the other one. And had the mother been able to afford it, I don't know, maybe the kid would have gotten both of them. Now, I will tell you, my wife has raised 5 boys. The youngest of them is about to become a teenager. The oldest of them is a man who's a father himself now. And she has never once had a meltdown happen in a store over a toy. One of the tricks is, of course, you don't fall for it. The child already knows this is not going to work. You do not influence mom in this way. And because the child already knows this will not work, the child already knows don't even bother trying, because you never get your way by doing it that way. And so that is, a fairly obvious parenting example. As a parent, how do you let your child influence the choices that you make on behalf of your child? So one of the things my mother used to do with me is I go, but why? As every kid probably does. And she would respond with another question. It's like, are you asking why because you want to know why so you can understand how your mother thinks? Or are you asking why just because you want to argue? Because if you just want to argue, it's because I'm your mother. That's why. Well, of course, I can't say I wanted to argue, so I have to say, well, I want to understand. I don't understand. And then she would explain. Now, if I started to argue, she said, well, you said it wasn't to argue. You said you just wanted to understand. I'm helping you understand. Did you want to argue? Because if you want to argue, it's because I'm your mother. That's why. And it forestalled the argument. She was teaching me how to influence her. She was teaching me how to take the lead in getting what I want, and teaching me that I do not get what I want by arguing with my mother. If I'm going to get what I want, I get what I want by asking her. I get what I want by reasoning with her. I get what I want by giving her all of the information. And so this 0 point is particularly powerful for parenting and how you allow others to lead you, influence you, because leadership is influence, influence is leadership. And of course, as parents, we want to be open to the influence of our child. Our child's going to give us information, they're going to ask us questions, we're going to make decisions. And how do we let our children have those avenues of influence? If we let them have it by pitching a fit, throwing a tantrum, whining, screaming, complaining, or worse, lying to us, well, that's not a good way to teach our child this will work on us. If we can teach our child to give us the key information that we need, that if you have a question such as, can I go to my friend's house for a party, and you're going to give us the information, this is the name of the friend, I have their phone number, or you already know them, this is the name of the parents, or you already know them, this is where the house is, or you already know where the house is. My homework is already done for this class, and this class. My chores are already done here. And if they already know that in order to get a yes, they have to show all my responsibilities have been handled, and here's all the information you need that you've always told me you have to have in order for me to be able to go to somebody's house. And that if you give your child this avenue to influence you, then you know that you're probably going to start getting this information, especially if your child realizes the answer is going to be no until all these things are yeses. So you show me that all your responsibilities are done and that those are yeses, those are completed. You show me I have this key information. You know I always ask for this information. You show up responsibilities finished, information done, then you have an opportunity to get a yes, you can go. If you don't have that information, then you're going to be, well, talk to me after the responsibilities are done, your homework, chores, and talk to me after you have all of the information. Then we have something that we can talk about. Then you have an opportunity for a yes. So for parenting and the 4P360 leadership system, that second 0 point, 0-2, and how you are led is particularly powerful. And then also to teach your child the exact same thing. How are you going to be led? How are you going to let other people influence you? And be teaching your son young in how to let other people influence, and more specifically in all these, how to not let somebody influence you. So this is Scott Conway sharing my proprietary 4P360 system. Please use the techniques, but of course it's proprietary, so you don't have permission to teach the techniques to others. Certainly not for money, please. MothersRaisingSons.com, sharing with you 4P360. And as I do more and more of this sharing, it should be pretty obvious that all of the Mothers Raising Sons tools and techniques are entirely consistent with 4P360. I just don't have them organized in exactly the same way because of the nature of parenting is a little bit different than just that kind of structured leadership you are more likely to find in business. But obviously you can tell it's enormously powerful stuff. And by the way, if you have a company you work for and you would like me to come in and teach there, just get me the contact information for whoever handles the personal or professional development at your company. Commonly it's in HR, but not always. And let me know, and I'll contact them, and we'll see if we can set something up. Again, Scott Conway for MothersRaisingSons.com.